Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to start collecting Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look at the Combat Patrol Chaos Space Marines. Now in this video what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all of the models and the units inside this box set, how we can build them, the options we have, and indeed what these units do on the tabletop briefly. We'll then take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase, and then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Chaos Space Marines army for Warhammer 40k 10th edition. And so, let's get into the initial box set, the Combat Patrol Chaos Space Marines. First of all, this box set is led by a Dark Apostle. This is a sort of priestly character for the Chaos Space Marines. You're going to have the leader ability, which will mean you're able to lead a variety of different units from Accursed Cultists and Chaos Mobs to your basic Legionnaires, which are also included in this box set, and the Chosen as well, a more elite unit of Chaos Space Marines. Now, this model has a variety of different special rules. It actually comes with a couple of other models that make up its units. These are the two little Dark Disciples. You can see the more humanoid characters in the box set. Now, you've got Dark Zealotry. While this unit's leading a unit and contains the Dark Apostle, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can add one to the wound roll. The Demagogue, once per battle at the start of any phase, you can select a friendly Heretic Astartes unit that is battle shocked and within 9 inch of this unit's Dark Apostle, and that unit will be no longer battle shocked. This is just super good. And then Malign Sacrifice as well. At the start of the fight phase, if this unit contains one or more Dark Disciples, you can select one of those models and one enemy unit with an engagement range, then roll 1d6. On a 2 to 5, the enemy will suffer 1 mortal wound, and on a 6, the enemy will suffer d3 mortal wounds. However, the Dark Disciple is then destroyed, as you know, you sacrifice them to do a little bit of warp magic hoodoo. We then have 10 Legionnaires. These are your basic Chaos Space Marines. Some of them may be new Chaos Space Marines that have, fought recently and betrayed the Imperium in recent times. Some may be Chaos Space Marines that have fought for 10,000 plus years against the Imperium. Now, they've got Veterans of the Long War, where each time a model in this unit targets an enemy unit with a melee attack, you reroll the wound roll of 1, and if that enemy unit is within range of any objective markers, you could just reroll the wound roll. This combines really nice with our cool little Dark Apostle, who obviously when he's leading that particular unit can give them that +1 to wound, so we can have +1 to wound on a bunch of their different weapons and the rerolls as well. Now, they do have a variety of different weaponry options, which is really cool. First of all, the Aspiring Champion, which is the unit's leader, can have a variety of both pistol and close combat weapon options. You can have a Chaos icon equipped to the unit as well. What this will do is each time the bearer's unit will take a leadership test for any Dark Pax ability, you can re-roll that result. So pretty cool to be able to use your allegiance ability that a little bit better. You then also have the ability to take any number of models in the unit with chainswords. One Legionary can also replace the model with a heavy melee weapon. And then you've got the Balefire Tome as well, which will give you a ranged psychic attack for the unit as well. And which is pretty cool. Strength 5 minus 1 AP damage 1 with 2 attacks. Gives you a little bit more punch than the average bolt gun. Now, we've then got the option for every 5 models in the unit, you can take one special or heavy weapon. What's really cool about this is it doesn't have to be, one or the other. So you can take multiple different ones. You could take 2 heavy weapons, you could take 2 special weapons, you can take one of each. This is a nice way to sort of load out the unit how you want it to be. And this does include even a plasma pistol as well in the options. Now, we then have 5 Havocs. These are Chaos Space Marine heavy weapon unit squads. Now, they've got a variety of different weapons they can choose from. This can be either their standard sort of loadout, which will include Havoc autocannons and las cannons, though these weapons can be changed out for things like heavy bolters, missile launchers, and Reaper chain cannons as well. Now, the Sergeant of the unit actually is pretty cool as well, as he can take a variety of different special weapons from the melter gun, the plasma gun, as well as a plasma pistol if you should want to as well. Now, stabilization talents mean each time a model in this unit makes an attack with a ranged weapon, you can ignore any and all modifiers to the hit and any and all modifiers to ballistic skill for that weapon as well. You've also got the option for a couple of different melee weapon options on your unit's Aspiring Champion. Once again, this is the unit's leader, and can make the Havocs pretty decent in combat because you can get a nice variety. You can have a Power Fist in there for a little bit of tank punching as well. Lastly, we have the Hellbrew, a Chaos Space Marines Dreadnought and Walker. Now, you've got Dark Ascension, where while a friendly Heretic Astartes unit is within 6 inch, each time they make a Dark Pact. Until the end of that phase, if its weapons will gain both of these abilities. So, first of all, this is just providing a absolutely crazy buff to the units it'll be. And the Hellbrute Fists as well, if this model ends up being equipped with 2, then these will have the twin linked rule for it as well. Now, it's got quite a few weapon options. This combines a lot of the shooting and combat options of the other dreadnoughts we sort of see. You've got the plasma cannon, autocannon, heavy bolter, las cannon options to replace its multi-melter, which also can be replaced with a Hellbrute Fist. The missile launcher on its other side can be replaced with a weapon of close combat variety as well from your Hellbrute Fist, which is, a sort of generic Dreadnought style fist. So the Hellbrute Hammer and Power Scourge, which are rather interesting. The Hellbrute Hammer being damage d6 plus 1 at strength 14, and then the Power Scourge making 8 attacks at strength 7 minus 1 AP damage 2. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, where to look to next? So, the first thing I want to talk about is a particular box that you can pick up for the Chaos Space Marines. And this will actually contain a couple of different unit options available for you. And the first of these is the Obliterators. Now, Obliterators are a really fun unit. They've got the Warped Rift firepower, where once per battle, this unit can make a Dark Pact, and it can use this ability. If it does so until the end of the phase, ranged weapons for the unit will have the indirect fire ability, which is just an insane ability to be able to gain. Now, you've got your flesh metal guns, which can change during the game, and they have a variety of different weapon options, which is really cool. They can have the melter or blast weapon options. They can have sustained hit ones as well. And then in combat, you're effectively got Power Fist with 4 attacks, weapon skill 3 plus, strength 9 minus 2 AP, damage 2. Now, the other unit that comes inside this particular box is the Venom Crawler, a sort of a light Chaos Space Marine vehicle available to you. This thing has toughness 9, 9 wounds, and it's got a couple of different weapons. From its Excruciator Cannon, which is 6 attacks at a 36 inch range, ballistic skill 3 plus, strength 6 minus 1 AP, damage 2, so a pretty decent shooting profile. But its Soul Flare, Tendrils, and Claws as well will give you some nice damage 2 at minus 1 AP, strength 6 in close combat as well. The Soul Leader ability means at the end of any phase, if one or more attacks made by this model destroyed one or more enemy units until the end of the battle, you can add one to the attacks characteristic of this model's weapons. This would be for both range and for shooting. Now, another unit I want to talk about in this particular box set as well is the Chaos Cultist. You've got a Dark Apostle, which I think, can also lead this unit. This is going to give you more bodies on the table and definitely help with the numbers issue you will face with a Chaos Space Marine force. Now, cultists are dirt cheap, but, they are what you pay for. Toughness 3, 1 wound each, with leadership 7 plus, and a save of 6 plus as well. Now, they do have the option for quite a few special weapons. In every 10 models in the unit, you have the option to take a grenade launcher, a autocannon, and a flamer. So, in a 20 model unit, you would have 2 of each of these. For the Dark Gods is their special ability, where at the end of your command phase, if this unit's within range of an objective marker you control, and that objective marker will remain in control of you until your opponent can take it off you. This is pretty cool because what it allows you to do is move away from objectives and use the unit more optimally on the battlefield, allowing it to move across. Sticky objectives, as they are called by many people in the community, this is just a super powerful ability to have access to on a unit, especially something when you can pump the units up to like 20 models and have quite a large amount of objective control in the unit. And so next I want to talk about some armor, because armor has definitely got a buff in the new edition of Warhammer 40k, and the Chaos Predators are really nice. Toughness 10 with 11 wounds each and a 3 plus save. For me, the one to go for is the Predator Annihilator. This is going to be the anti-tank one and definitely bring some extra heavy weapons to bear for you. Now, this thing will have a bunch of different las cannons equipped to it, with its main sort of turret-mounted weapon being a Predator Twin las cannon. But it can also have sponsors of las cannons and indeed a combi bolter or combi weapon on the top, as well as a havoc launcher as well, which is really cool. Now, you've got the Annihilator rule where each time a ranged attack made by this model allocates itself to a monster or vehicle, you can re-roll the damage rolls of one. This is really nice when you consider those basic sort of lash cannons are going to be one attack each, with a 3+, strength 12, minus 3 AP, damage d6 plus 1, or the Predator Twin Lash Cannon, which does go up to getting the Twin Linked rule and goes up to strength 14, but with the same sort of damage profile as well. Now, the other Predator option we have available is the Predator Destructor. You will get the auto cannons on this instead, with the Predator auto cannon being 4 attacks, 3+, strength 9, minus 1 AP, damage 3. A little bit less anti-tank, but definitely can work against some of these smaller vehicles. Think like our own Venom Crawler we've talked about in this video. This will be pretty good at being able to get rid of one of those. But it also has some bonuses against infantry with the Destructor rule, meaning you can, every time you target a infantry unit with a ranged attack, you improve the armor penetration characteristic of its weapons by 1. Lastly, we have the Chaos Space Marines Rhino. Definitely, as you probably increase over the first initial 1,000 points and the board size of the game increases, you're probably going to want to find some transports for some of your units, helping them get across the table, especially those units that are going to be wanting to get into close combat, or at least that closest sort of range with their firepower. And the Chaos Rhino is your basic sort of transport. This is going to be able to transport up to 12 Heretic Astartes infantry. It can also grab some other things inside it as well, because it can carry infantry, which means your cultist units, if they're of the correct size, can jump inside it as well. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, you do get to pick marks of chaos when you pick this particular army, and there are a lot of different options here. Really, I would suggest when you're beginning out just to do one mark for your whole army. This just makes learning the rules a little bit easier, and as you sort of get a little bit more used to the game, switch up and start putting your marks on more different units. Now, the only rule with the marks is you can't put the Khorne keyword on a Psycho, and if you want a character to lead a unit, it must have the same mark of chaos that you have on the unit you're wishing to put it into lead. For me, I really do like Chaos Undivided just as a standard one. The ability for just make a reroll of a hit roll each time the model makes an attack is nice. Now, Dark Apostle is going to be our Warlord, and then we've got Battleline, our Legionnaires unit in here. Now, we've taken pretty much all the upgrades we can on the unit, giving them chainswords as well, and the weaponry we've gone for is the Reaper Chain Cannon and Melty Gun on the special weapon and heavy weapon options. We then have a Cultist mob we've added in with 20 Cultists in there, fully upgraded with a Cultist Champion with a Bolt Pistol, and then 2 of each the Heavy Stubbers, Flamers, and Cultist Grenade Launchers. Our Havoc unit has gone for a Power Fist and Melty Gun on the Sergeant. Really, it is between the Melty Gun and the Plasma Gun for me of the two weapons, but I think the anti-tank ability just suits a little bit better. We then have the 2 Havoc Glass Cannons and 2 Havoc Missile Launchers. The Missile Launchers here definitely help a lot with the ability to switch this unit to maybe some anti-infantry if you need to with their frag grenade rounds. We then have 2 Obliterators, a Venom Crawler, and the Hellbrute, who has gone for a Multi-Melter and Hellbrute Hammer. For me, the Multi-Melter is probably the way to go on the Hellbrute. I just like the fact that this is going to give it, the most anti-tank. And this thing really does like getting up and close and personal. It can take in enemy monsters, take on enemy vehicles, and indeed enemy walkers as well. If you've been playing with the Chaos Space Marines in 10th edition at all so far, or indeed if you're going to start a Chaos Space Marine army in the new edition of Warhammer 40k, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below and how you would build out from the initial box set. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me, we have a Discord server for the channel, and that is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. This is either via Patreon or YouTube members using one of our affiliate links and codes down there, like Baron of Dice, Gap Games, or Mithras Games, or by supporting us directly on Patreon or YouTube members. If you'd like to do any of those, we have links for that all in the description. And as a special thank you to our Patrons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Soren, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And our YouTube members, Greenridge Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, and John Castle. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.